3.5 years to get something done and hasn't done anything.
He thinks like a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You vote for him, you're going to get a dictator.
With the upcoming elections between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who will you guys be voting for?
She's had 3.5 years to get something done and hasn't done anything.
He thinks like a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You vote for him, you're going to get a dictator.
The thought of a first female president is exciting.
I am here in Maui, Hawaii. It is one of the most expensive, most luxurious vacation spots in all of America. And today we'll be asking the millionaires here on this island who they will be voting for between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And this is another election special here on my channel. And this video will include a sponsorship by Prize Picks. And now let's go ask these millionaires who they will be voting for. Who do you guys hope wins, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Kamala.
What makes you excited to vote for Kamala?
I'm a never Trumper.
Just a never Trumper.
Never Trumper.
If it was
Anybody but Trump.
If it was somebody else besides Donald Trump running on the Republican side, would you still vote for it? Would you vote for that person, or is it just because?
Possibly. I'd think about a Mitt Romney type, a more moderate, less confrontational type.
So it's just because Trump is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
With the upcoming elections between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, who will you guys be voting for?
Trump, all the way.
And why do you guys want Donald Trump to win?
Look at all the things he did for us when he was in office, secured our borders somewhat. What has Kamala Harris done? Nothing. She was put in charge of the borders initially, never even visited.
Yeah.
And just all the other things. She's good for the market, good for business. He's good for foreign policy. I think the other countries respect him versus a woman as a president. We had a better relationship with China. We had more control in the Middle East.
We talked to a lot of women, and they said, we're going to be voting for Kamala because she's a woman. Does that influence your vote at all as a woman?
No, I don't really think it's about gender. I just think it's about somebody that's going to represent our country with grace and class and dignity and respect and protect us. I agree. I really love Mr. Trump, and I think that he is a great person.
A lot of people that we talked to that are from the left say that Donald Trump will become a dictator if he's elected. Do you guys worry about Donald Trump becoming a dictator?
Not at
No.
all.
You think that's just propaganda from the left?
Man.
Yeah,
He's a good family man. He's not. That's not who he is.
Look at all the things they try to do, the Democrats, to stop him from getting into office. They've put all these lawsuits against him, try to tie him up in court. This type of conduction or policy, whatever you want to call it, this is what you see in Russia when they're trying to run against Putin. And he just does everything to, put his opponents behind him or in jail, whatever. So, he's the only one standing.
What do you guys think about the current state of America, and where do you think we're heading as a country?
We're just worried. We're very worried and waiting for the election to see what happens.
And who do you guys hope to win the election?
Kamala.
Kamala.
My gosh.
Yes.
Trump is incredibly unworthy of the office, unworthy of trying to run, a convicted felon. The country's headed toward totalitarianism if he wins.
Really?
Yeah, I'm worried there'd never be another presidential election if he wins this one.
Really, a lot of people would say that they're worried if Kamala Harris wins the election, and they think the country could turn into something different. But you guys believe that if Trump wins, we could turn into
Totalitarianism.
A dictatorship.
A dictatorship.
He'd like to do away with the Congress. He has been a corporation titan all his life. At the top of every corporation is a dictator. That's the way he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to be a political dictator, just like he was a business dictator.
And what makes you guys excited about Kamala Harris potentially winning the election?
We know her. We're from California. We're from near San Francisco. So we have seen her from the time that she became Attorney General of the city of San Francisco. She became Attorney General of the state of California. She became senator from, federal senator from the state of California. We like the way she thinks, the way she acts. She's just a great person.
And remember this couple because we'll be coming back to them later in this video. Who are you going to be voting for, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Donald Trump.
And what makes you like Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris?
Can I do it in my Trump voice?
Go for it.
Kamala Harris. Kamala's crazy. Crazy Kamala. Commander Kamala. She's fired.
What do you think we could expect underneath the presidency of Kamala Harris if she is elected?
A lot of crime, a lot of corruption, a lot of bad things. America will be ruined. Absolutely terrible. Be a terrible place.
And now she's saying that she's going to stop the border crisis when she has been in charge of the border crisis. Do you think she'll change that in the upcoming election?
She's been the vice president for the past 3.5 years. Done nothing about it. I don't think she'll do nothing. She's going to let more and more in. There are more votes. That's all they want, votes.
So do you think with all the people coming in, do you think those are eventually going to become voters in the United States?
They're going to try. They're going to try to make them voters. They're going to really try to make them voters because they don't want guys like me, the good guys, to win. The American dream under the Biden-Harris administration's dead. It's just Donald Trump is a good guy. He's for the people.
We're trying to get the insight as far as who millionaires will be voting for. Who will you be voting for, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Trump.
We've talked to some people here and they said they're going to be voting for Kamala Harris. What would be your message to the people about why you'll be voting for Donald Trump?
The economy, the border, Medicare. She's had 3.5 years to get something done and hasn't done anything to help the border out. The economy, we farm and our expenses have gone up and our prices have gone down. She wants to give Medicare to illegal immigrants, and it's already going to go bankrupt in about 15 years.
Where do you think the country will go if Kamala is elected?
Well, it's going to go more socialistic, and Trump will bring it back to more conservative, and I'm pretty conservative.
So when Trump was president, was your business thriving a lot more than it is currently?
Yeah, it was. We had good grain prices. Corn was twice as much as it is now, and beans were about $7 more a bushel.
Kamala said she's going to announce price gouging potentially on these stores. How would that affect you as a farmer?
If she fixes prices, the grocery stores are already only making about 1.6% on their groceries that they sell. I don't know how she can knock much more out of that. And the only way to lower the grocery prices is to come back to the farm and lower our prices. And that won't work.
Kamala Harris said the grocery stores are ripping people off by the prices. And do you think they are ripping people off, or do you think they're just trying to survive?
I don't think they're ripping us off. We do see what they call shrink inflation. Potato chip bag might not have as much in it as it used to have. But if they're only making 1.6% like they're reporting, they can't cut their prices much and stay in business.
A lot of people are wondering why Kamala Harris hasn't announced any policies that she is going to be running on. Why do you think she has not announced anything?
She doesn't want people to know what she stands for.
And should Americans be concerned about that?
Yeah, I think so. Her dad was a Marxist. She grew up in Berkeley, one of the most liberal communities in the United States, and she's lying about that because she said she didn't live in Berkeley.
What would be your message to anybody who's on the borderline of whether they should vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? What would be your message to get them to vote for Donald Trump?
Think about your grocery bill and the border. We have to stop the illegal immigrants from coming in. We need about 1 million immigrants per year to fill the jobs that we have in this country. We don't need 20 million.
All right, you guys, I'm excited to tell you guys about the sponsor of this video, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. And with football season starting back up, I'm excited to hook you guys up with a sweet deal. When you download Prize Picks and use code SHIRLEY, put in at least $5, you're gonna get $50 on your first lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. For the month of September, literally 1 passing yard from Caleb Williams gets you 1 win on Prize Picks. Yes, that is right, only 1 yard from Caleb Williams gets you a dub. That's 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. You choose your players, create your lineup, and go more or less on that player's set projection, and you get your payout. This week, I'm going big on Tyreek Hill and Dak Prescott. I'm going more on both of them. You guys just download the app today, use code SHIRLEY to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game, and now let's go back to the video asking these millionaires who they're gonna be voting for. For all the people that will be voting for Donald Trump, what would be your message to try to get them to vote for Kamala Harris?
You know, just ask do you really want to lose all your rights and live under a bone-grinding dictator? And then go ahead and vote for Trump, and you're welcome to what you get.
But the thing that worries me is that many of his followers don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just don't think.
Do you guys think it's strange that Joe Biden got sick and then all of a sudden Kamala was next to be in line? Do you think that was planned for Joe Biden to get sick and to replace him with Kamala?
No, not planned. No. If he'd felt, I believe, completely physically and mentally well, he would not have dropped out. But I think that a number of wise people,
Especially Nancy Pelosi,
Exactly,
who's from San
Pelosi.
Francisco. We love her.
talked to him frankly 2 or 3 times and said, look, you're clearly right now in a physical and mental decline. Best thing on earth for you and for everybody in the United States would be to drop out.
Yeah. So you think he was kind of forced out of office?
Forced, he didn't, in an absolute sense, he wouldn't have dropped. But I think he was realistic enough and intelligent enough to understand that he was questionably able to discharge the office, and everybody had a negative view of him, and he would really have swung a huge part of the election in the ghastly direction.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Donald Trump is a threat to democracy?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Oh yes. That's what I just said. He thinks like a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You vote for him, you're going to get a dictator. And I mean dictator.
What kind of things would he do as a dictator? Just curious.
First thing he would do would be to abolish the next presidential election and try to get into a position where he was dictator for life.
He already said, vote for me and you'll never have another election.
And who will you be voting for?
Kamala.
Really? And what makes you excited about Kamala Harris?
She's a woman. She's black. I think that it's just a big step forward to our country. Like it's a first.
Since she's a woman and she's black, how would that benefit someone as president?
I just think we need more people for the women right now instead of old men.
We don't like cricket, we love it. Our hosting our website helps us to grow our team and to share the passion with the world. We're cricketers, not developers. Our hosting our website builder is like a coach guiding us through every step of the way. Building a website was user-friendly and as easy as getting ready to play. We simply drag and drop the text and images around to make our website look the way we wanted. There is no spin here. Our website was live fast. Now our club has over 50 members and we are looking for new sponsors. Start your earnings with hosting a website builder now. How's that?
So do you think diversification and womanification would be better for America?
I do.
And what would she bring as a woman as far as perspective that a man cannot bring to the table?
As far as perspective, I don't know.
Who will you be voting for between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris?
Kamala Harris,
And why so?
because I think she's a better candidate.
What makes you excited about Kamala Harris winning?
Lots of things, but the thought of a first female president is exciting. I have 2 young daughters, so I think that would be really cool for them to be able to see a woman in office.
Great. And is this your husband right here?
He is right here. Oh, they got a question for you.
We just talked to your wife. She told us she'd be voting for Kamala Harris. And who will you be voting for in the election?
Harris Waltz, no doubt.
With what you saw at the DNC and what you've seen from speeches from Kamala, what's something that makes you excited to vote for her?
It just feels good. I think the message is one that resonates where I'm big on language. And when you can have messaging that is looking towards the future, looking towards a brighter future, that's always going to bode well with me personally.
If Donald Trump were to win, what do you think the country would look like?
I mean, it doesn't matter who's in the White House. I still got to get up and go to work every day regardless. Will things look good? Personally, for me, I don't think so. But it doesn't change, my responsibilities and what I have to do every day to provide for my family. So, I just think that for the country as a whole, that doesn't look great if he gets back in office for all Americans. I don't believe.
We were talking with your wife, and she said she'd vote for Kamala Harris. One of the reasons because she is a woman. And do you think that would be inspiring for future generations to see a woman as president?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, representation is everything. And it's not so much about identity politics at that point. To see that, to have my daughters to be able to see that, to have others' daughters be able to see that, I think that bodes well for their psyche better than if they didn't, right? It's not so much that anybody's coming out and physically saying, no, a woman cannot run a country. And there are some people that believe that.
And what benefits do you think we would see in America with a woman being president?
Honestly, I'm excited to see it because women tend to do things in a much more empathetic and I want to say open-minded and not so heavy-fisted way that men do. Just like my wife and I run a business, and I always try to defer to her because I know how I'm going to try to run through a brick wall. But sometimes her ability to strategize and see things that I can't, it's crucial for how we just operate our lives. So I could see that running a country, the way that you interact with the world and the way that a woman would see problems. I would love to see how a woman would be able to guide us through some of the tough times and the good times.
Now, you just overheard our conversation, and the last person we just talked to said they're going to be voting for Kamala Harris. And who are you going to be voting for?
Donald Trump. And I don't like Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump because he is the obvious choice, because Kamala Harris is incapable.
And what makes Donald Trump the obvious choice to you?
Energy independence, border security, the economy, taxes, tariffs, global security.
And was your life better underneath Donald Trump's administration or underneath the Biden-Harris administration?
Donald Trump's administration.
And what would be your message to all the people that are going to be voting for Kamala Harris in this upcoming election?
change your mind.
Do you think it's a little strange that on Kamala Harris's website she has no policies marked, but she only has a donation button?
It's not strange to me. She doesn't have anything to say. And you can't base something like this on emotions. You watch her speeches and it's all very feely and emotional, but it has no substance. The future of our country is too important to base on feelings.
Think people should worry less about emotions and more about facts?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Facts don't care about feelings, right?
That's right.
Who will you be voting for between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris?
Trump.
And why so?
My concern is Kamala Harris is that she may not have enough experience or the grit to kind of get us out of the trouble that we're in right now. And in California, Democrats have created quite a mess, safety-wise. So I would love to see a safer environment for my children to live in. I see a lot of criminals being released from prison, repeat offenders and such, because there's less jail space. Like, people just are able to get away with a lot more. So I see a lot more crime, actually, more homelessness.
Have you always voted Republican?
No.
And will this be your first year voting Republican?
Yes.
And do you think there are more people like you who heard me switching from blue to red with what they've seen in these past few years?
I have no idea. California is like, you're scared to talk about it because you don't know. You don't want to end up on a blacklist.
What fears you of another 4 years of a Harris administration in America?
I worry about our safety. I worry about a country staying in war and funding other wars, and I worry about my children.
How has your guys' life been affected by the open borders in California?
There were so many robberies on our street, a lot of robberies. And the police says, oh, sorry, we can't do much about that because we're too busy, or if they steal less than a certain monetary amount, they can't persecute them. And some of them are really good professional robbers, so they could get away with things.
And what do you hope to see underneath another Trump administration?
I would say just feeling safer.
Who are you guys going to be voting for in the 2024 election?
Daddy Trump.
And what would be your message to people that are going to be voting for Kamala Harris?
Actually spend time to look into everything that she believes in, her background, her view on what's making her policies exactly what they are.
And what policies?
Haven't heard any. She won't speak up. She won't come out and announce anything other than being online with rappers.
You as a woman, what did you think when Kamala Harris brought Megan Thee Stallion on the stage and she started twerking?
I think it was a little bit of a mockery of women, and I think that if her biggest platform is being a woman, then that's not really someone that I would look up to and trust.
This is Joey. He's also from South Carolina.
What's going on, Joey? You're obviously voting for Donald Trump. What makes you want to vote for Donald Trump, and what makes you want to rep Donald Trump's name on your head?
My biggest reason for voting for Donald Trump is because I